folks. This is DQP Does. We just watched Hot Fuzz, part of our Cornetto Trilogy series. I don't know why I said that weird, but I did.
Because you're American.
Cornetto. I can say it.
Okay.
So we watched Hot Fuzz. It was good. It was very good.
It was.
We laughed a lot. Like a lot more than I think we've laughed at a lot of movies that we've watched.
I think you laughed. I laughed a lot in the beginning, and then I laughed a lot at the end.
You laughed all through the whole movie.
I mean,
don't lie.
I didn't really laugh the 10 minutes I fell asleep.
What the fuck? When did you fall asleep?
I don't know. I really wasn't sure you guys didn't notice because I woke myself up because I snored.
What the fuck? Did you notice that he fell asleep?
I was trying to stay awake myself.
God damn it, guys.
There's a lull, man.
Yeah, man.
There isn't a lull. That movie's great, top to bottom.
It's not as good as Shaun of the Dead.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
Ding,
Starting.
ding, ding.
All right. Let's start off talking about the cast a little bit. A lot
Everyone
of
that was in Shaun of the Dead was in this.
Yep,
Congratulations,
pretty much.
done.
Most of it's the same. No, some of it is different. You've got Timothy Dalton for one thing, and as Simon Skinner, and Jim Broadbent as Inspector Frank Butterman. The guy I think you guys were talking about, one of the Andys, Paddy Considine. Considine. It's like a
Bro, we only know American actors.
Whoa. I watched
guy?
a lot of British television.
Was that the guy you were talking about?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I thought they both looked kind of familiar, but I think it's because the other guy looks like someone else, because when I went through his IMDb, I didn't really know anything he's in. But he looks like the dude from this a TV show on Netflix.
Okay.
I can't think of what it's called.
Thanks for narrowing that down.
Yep, you're welcome.
Well, Nathan and Russell are both a little sleepy apparently because they didn't like this movie.
No, I like the movie.
Oh, no, that's not what I heard. You fell asleep.
I wouldn't say sleepy.
I mean, that wasn't because of the movie, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not sleepy.
Oh, he was in Bourne Ultimatum.
do you want to talk about it?
No.
Might not even matter by the time this airs.
I mean, my podcast might be numbered.
What the fuck ever.
What?
Guys.
All right, Hot Fuzz, right?
Yep. Hot Fuzz. Right? Yeah. That's the movie that we watched. Oh my god. Okay, so you guys said there was a lull. I mean, what? Where at?
So
Like, I honestly don't know.
First off, preface it, I really like this movie.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I do. I like this movie. The mystique of the movie, I think, goes on too long. Where the mystery, him trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes on too long, and then we get like a really great and completely badass action sequence at the end of the movie, which is just fucking awesome, right? But getting there, if it gets a little rough, the last probably 10 minutes getting there before the reveals start happening.
Huh.
And I think I've only actually seen this movie maybe 4 or 5 times, and it's been maybe 6 years, I think, since I've watched this.
Yeah, because you said the last time you saw it was when we lived together. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. And you were living with
Or no,
Billy.
yeah, it was when I was living with
I
Billy.
think the last time I watched it, we were drunk and you were living with Billy.
So that was like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whereas Shaun of the Dead, I've watched every couple of years at least.
What Russell said.
Did the same part. It's kind of boring.
Yeah. He pretty much nailed it.
Huh.
I couldn't think of how to word it. I was like, there's just this, like, it's in between the beginning and, like, towards the middle end. And it's just,
Yeah.
It's good. It's just lacking.
I don't understand.
I don't know that I think it's lacking as much as there's like a lot of repetition in Shaun of the Dead, right?
Yes.
Like it repeats itself pretty consistently. This does that too, and it's a similar writing and directing style.
Right.
And it's weird because I know in Shaun of the Dead we were like, man, 20 more minutes would have been fucking awesome. But I don't know that it would have been because watching Hot Fuzz, I'm kind of like, did you need that 20 minutes?
Yeah, they could have eliminated about 20 minutes out of this movie.
I really
movie
like
of
it.
Would have been really good.
I
think another like 30 minutes out of it and just making it like a straight up 90-minute flick.
Wow.
Sometimes you can say so much with very little.
I just love every minute of this movie, so I don't know. I just don't. I get what you're saying. I just don't agree in any way.
You know, when they don't cut parts out of movies or when they do cut parts out of movies, there's some shit they should have cut.
So
no, I get that. I understand. I know what you're saying. I just don't agree with you.
It's okay to be wrong.
There's also
I agree. It is okay to be wrong, Nathan.
There's also a huge opportunity that I feel like they missed with this movie.
Okay.
So, which is the first time I'm catching it. So Shaun of the Dead is zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Russell took a lot of notes.
I did. I got 2. Name, ID number. Boom. That's all I needed to go off on this tangent. So, because I legitimately couldn't remember how the movie ended. And I was like, so I sat there and I was doing the thing that I do where I'm like, oh my God, if they do this and this fucking ends like this. And so my reference points are Shaun of the Dead is a zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
And At World's End is an alien apocalypse.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, his name's Angel.
Yeah.
His fucking badge number is 777.
Uh-huh.
They keep making all these weird references. And I was like, oh my God, is he actually an angel?
Yeah.
So like, I wanted it to get to the end of the movie and like there be a huge reveal that the reason he's such a badass is because he's actually a fucking angel, and have that be the kind of almost like supernatural thing, because that's the other thing too was I kept waiting because I couldn't remember and I thought there was something, but the something is that there's basically a secret cult running the town. So like I get that, but with all of the little references, I really just wanted him to be an actual angel.
Yeah, it's not. It's very figurative as far as like the good versus evil thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to literal in the other 2 movies.
Right.
So I think that's actually more to like, set it apart, to not follow the formula. Right?
Yeah.
And I think like that extra 20 minutes, they're just like pounding home all the self-referential stuff as well as the references to other things, because there's pop culture references like By the Power of Grayskull. They say it twice when they go to the guy's farm and find all the guns in the sea mine, and then when Danny shows Angel the DVD room.
Yeah.
The only thing that's clean and organized in his entire house is his room full of DVDs, a whole room with like track lighting and shit, lighting up the shelves and shelves of fucking DVDs.
Yeah. I also think that's interesting between the 2 characters because Nick Frost's character, Danny,
Butterman.
Danny Butterman, he's seen all these movies but has no actual like life experience.
Right.
And Simon Pegg's Angel hasn't seen any of these movies, but has all of this actual experience.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool that they did that way.
Yeah, I mean it makes for a good like foundation for the buddy comedy.
Yeah.
Right? Cuz he's asking Angel all these questions, and Angel's getting upset about it because he's like, no, it's not cool. It's terrible. Like that shit happens. Like, you're not missing out on anything. You have the same job as me. You're just not in a dangerous part of the country.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that stuff to be a good cop. You just have to follow the rules and do the paperwork, And all Danny wants to do is, shoot his gun in the air and yell, ah. Which he gets to do, which is fantastic. But, there's all these pop culture references. There's the Power of Grayskull. There's the multiple references to action movies, specifically Point Break and Bad Boys 2, which are actually referenced in scenes that happen in the movie.
Right.
With the shooting in the air and going, ah. And they're standing there after the end of everything, and the helicopter flies over them with, like, the same music playing.
Yeah.
And, like, in slow-mo and shit. But, like, I feel like that extra 20 minutes, like, because that's the one thing that I would think is better about this movie than it is about Shaun of the Dead, is that it fits more of that shit in.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's the kind of stuff that I like in, like, the tongue-in-cheek British, like, dry comedy stuff.
Right.
And I feel like this just filled it as much as possible without being too much. But you guys felt like it was too much.
Yeah, it was an extra
like
5 pounds of shit.
Yeah,
in
it got
fucking 10-pound bag.
It got boring to you guys.
I also
It was good shit.
Yeah.
There's some scenes. There was also just in general, like, some scenes that were a little extraneous that could have been cut shorter. So,
okay.
Like, we get like 4 minutes of Simon Pegg walking, which when that happened, I realized that also happens in Shaun of the Dead, and so
which part?
He's just walking. Like, it goes through him walking through different. Like, I don't remember what it happened after. I think it happened after he leaves the station.
Oh, is it towards the end?
No, it's like in the middle. He's like still figuring stuff out. He doesn't have anything figured out for sure, but he's like still looking around all cautious and weary-eyed. And there's what?
There's like 2 parts where he does that.
Oh, well, if there's 2 parts.
Because there's like the beginning when he's walking around town when he first gets there, and then there's the part after Frank tells him to sleep on it towards the end before he gets attacked by Michael.
I think it's that. Yeah, it's that one. It's where Frank tells him to sleep on it, because that's one where he's like
this
sad.
Character development.
And
He's like thinking about how he's wrong and stuff.
I know, but it goes on for like 3 minutes.
I don't think it goes on anywhere near that long.
I'm pretty sure it felt like that long.
Because you were fucking waking up from being asleep.
That might be true, but
nope.
My point is, I'm pretty sure Edgar Wright just likes to film Simon Pegg walking around places.
I felt like that scene was important. I can't believe we're like this desperate on how we feel about this movie.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm sorry, Billy. I really like this movie. I can't do this. I tried. I can't.
What the fuck?
I mean, I did fall asleep, but that's my own fault because I slept 4 hours.
Wait, time out. I really didn't care for this one as much as Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
Like, out of the trilogy, this is my least favorite. Like,
really?
If I never watched it again, I'd be okay with that.
Wow.
So
I mean, I think I agree with that.
In my feelings.
I need to watch At World's End again, but I remember Hot Fuzz being my least favorite of the 3.
Yeah,
this is
At World's End
my favorite of the 3.
Good, but it's not like Shaun of the Dead.
Let's
too fucking good.
Let's rank them when after we watch the 3rd one, but
I think it's pretty easy. I think everyone can just surmise.
Well, we'll do it again. We'll do it again then.
Yeah.
But,
okay. At the end of this podcast, I'm going to do it, and then
You son of a bitch.
I'll do it again. And it won't fucking change.
Yeah. Unless that movie is totally different than I remember, it won't change for me either. But yeah, I just think that like this was basically the formula of Shaun of the Dead, and they just packed more of the good shit into it, and it's just better. I also really like the story.
Yeah, the story in and of itself is absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Especially, I remember watching it for the first time. I mean, it's kind of, there's a little bit of predictability to it.
Right.
Especially when they like hit you over the head with.
Right, but that's like the like part of the comedy.
Yeah.
Right? Is
right.
like, Skinner's name is fucking Skinner, and like the priest's name is Shooter, and like all these people, like everyone's name is like a joke.
Yeah.
Everyone's name in the whole show is a joke. And then every time Timothy Dalton's character shows up, he's basically like, "Hey, I'm a murderer."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?"
Slashing prices.
I slash prices. My discounts are criminal. Catch me later. Like, dude, come on. Like, you're like, this is foreshadowing.
This is foreshadowing. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit in Shaun of the Dead, but like these movies are parodies.
Right.
Like, but they're how like parodies should be done. Like, I think you shit on Scary Movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Right.
Scary Movie's garbage. It doesn't have a lot of rewatchability. Whereas, like, these movies, I feel like have...
And you might, like, laugh when you watch those movies, and there might be parts that are, like, quotable and stuff, but for the most part, they don't have, like, a real story or real acting even. Like, it's just like, okay, go in this situation, ham it up, right? Whereas this is, like, has a story and plotting and character development and shit like that, and like Danny's character develops in a ridiculous amount throughout the movie.
And I find it interesting, especially coming like right off of Shaun of the Dead, which he is kind of a badass in Shaun of the Dead. I guess.
One.
He ends up being one, but like I really believe him as this character.
Yes.
Like I really believe that Simon Pegg could walk into a town and just like murder a bunch of dudes. If he needed to.
Gracefully take them down without killing them somehow.
Yeah.
Which he did, like, shoot 2 people in the chest with a shotgun. So those people are dead, but somehow they were not dead and they were arrested later.
Yeah.
I really feel like this movie was directed by Ridley Scott because I like it about as much as I liked Blade Runner. And
So
I felt just as bored when I watched Blade Runner as I watched this.
Don't you love Gladiator?
Well, nah. Which Gladiator?
The Russell Crowe one?
Not the American
really.
one? Cut that, please.
What's wrong with that Gladiator?
No, yeah. Don't, yeah
It's got Cuba Gooding in it.
Russell. What?
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's a boxing movie called Gladiator.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
Nope, haven't seen that.
I thought you loved the Russell Crowe Gladiator movie.
No, it's too long.
That makes sense.
100% makes sense.
Yeah. Nathan also hates Ridley Scott.
Whoa, time out. I like long movies, though. If Kevin Costner's in it.
God damn it.
I do like long movies. I just didn't like Blade Runner. I really don't like this as much. It was it was good. It was
Yeah, you liked it, but
30 minutes too fucking long.
You didn't love it.
Yeah. Are you hurt?
Fucking Russell's so confused right now.
I'm just perplexed because, like, it just sounds like you have a hard-on for Kevin Costner.
Well, okay. How about
you want to check?
Nope.
How about we deflect the Kevin Costner boners? You liked Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Endgame's like 3 hours, so
Yeah.
Doesn't have
Yeah.
Kevin Costner in it.
Yeah, it kept me entertained.
I mean, do we know that it doesn't have Kevin Costner in it?
Fuck you. God damn it.
I'd rather watch the 10 Commandments than watch Blade Runner.
Jesus Christ.
And
My
the 10
feelings
Commandments
are hurt.
is like 30 hours long.
I
like Charlton Heston.
So he also has a hard on for Charlton.
Those damn dirty apes.
I also like the original Spartacus. Kirk Douglas.
I don't know if I've actually watched. I know I've been in the room while it was on, but I'm pretty sure I was a kid.
Kirk
Like,
Douglas was
little
fucking
kid.
awesome.
So I know
like
we,
old movies.
we also used to watch the 10 Commandments every year around Christmas, I think.
I bet it was Easter.
No, it was
Because it's
definitely
on
Christmas time.
every year on Easter, on regular television.
Really?
NBC or some shit.
Huh.
I think it's just the go-to religious movie for holidays.
Probably.
Because I usually watched it on TV around Christmas time too.
Well, I think we watched
Played on TBS for 30
yeah,
hours
like
or
TNT.
something.
They would play like that, and they also used to play like Ben-Hur and Spartacus sometimes
Yeah.
on that and TMC, TCM, Turner Classic Movies, TCM.
I'm sorry, Russell. I just don't.
Sorry for what?
I don't like Ridley Scott movies.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. We're not judging you. I mean, as much as it sounds like we are, that's just for entertainment value.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I'll say something really divisive.
Oh, shit,
So,
here we go.
Alien's okay, but I really loved Prometheus.
Prometheus was all right.
This is all getting
I
edited
liked
out, by the way.
Alien. I liked Alien way better. Like the first one.
Yeah.
And then I felt like they said enough. They didn't need 30 more Alien movies.
Right.
That's me though.
I
Well, yeah, but
only hate the Alien versus Predator movies in those franchises.
Wait, Prometheus had Danny McBride in it though, right? I think he was in it.
Yes.
And James Franco. Wasn't James Franco in it?
I don't think James
Wasn't that
Franco
the
was
space
in it.
movie they did? They did a space movie together, and I know Danny McBride was in that. Fuck.
I don't know.
Well, regardless, I liked it because they weren't playing, he wasn't playing Danny McBride.
It has Fassbender as the
Oh, yeah.
AI.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're on the weird planet.
Fuck. Maybe I did like Prometheus better.
Prometheus, Michael Fassbender, Charlize Theron, Idris Elba, Guy Pearce, Logan Marshall Green, Sean Harris.
Oh, that cast. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, Rafi Spall.
You really know that we're talking about a movie we enjoy when we talk about other movies.
Ralphie Spall.
Just
Well, yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we don't have anything to shit on it with. So.
No, Rafi Spall was in Hot Fuzz.
You know what I'm not going to do?
Boom.
I'm not
He
going to
was the
blow
other
this
Andy.
movie. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
And it all comes back.
I don't even actually see what's his fuck in this. Patrick Wilson.
Okay, maybe Danny McBride wasn't in it. I thought to fucking...
He was in the other one. What's the other one? Covenant?
Hey, Borderlands
Covenant,
comes out
yeah.
September 13th, by the way, not next month. It's like, oh shit, it's August.
That is next month.
Not when this podcast comes out.
Yeah. So that one, Alien Covenant, had Michael Fassbender. Fassbender. Catherine Watterson, Billy Crudup, Danny McBride.
What was that?
Billy Crudup?
No. What
Danny
movie?
McBride?
Alien
Covenant. Sorry.
Oh.
But I don't see...
God damn it. Now I gotta look it up.
what's his fuck? Oh, wait. Yeah, James Franco
Boom!
as Branson. Uncredited.
He died pretty early on.
There's a guy named Benjamin Rigby. He's almost a Beatles song. Anyway. What the fuck? Did anyone look up interesting facts?
I mean, it was uninteresting. So why would
I
you
thought
go
Nathan was bringing back Easter eggs, so I didn't IMDb
Only
anything.
if I like the movie will I bring out my basket.
Damn. All right. Sweet.
Sorry.
Let me.
I mean, it's kind of unsaid. You're the host. You know, Russell's there to support you, and I fling poop. You know, that's what I do. It's like a zoo.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless I really like the movie.
Okay, so let's do some facts, some trivia. Nick Frost only agreed to do the film if he could get to name his character. He was also asked to watch over 20 action films to warm up for the role. He only watched one, Bad Boys 2.
He didn't watch Point Break. I'm pissed.
Wow. The first draft of the script included a love interest. Ugh. She was cut from subsequent drafts, but a good amount of her dialogue was given to Danny, often without any changes. Perfect.
Now that I did enjoy.
How is that for a slice of fried gold? The judges of the Best Kept Village competition near the end of the film are played by Peter Wilde and the mothers of Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg.
Huh.
Honey, can you put us in your next movie? Yeah, Mom. We'll get on that. The filming of Angel and Skinner's first meeting at the supermarket was filmed over the course of 2 days. The conversation was filmed entirely from Timothy Dalton's perspective first. The next day, early in the morning, they were to film the conversation with Angel's perspective and close-ups. Dalton, much to the surprise of the crew, showed up early the next morning, and even though he wasn't going to be on camera for that particular portion of the filming, he sat off camera in Skinner's chair and played the role so that Simon Pegg would be able to have him to work with while filming his part as Angel. Pegg stated it really showed Dalton's professionalism.
What a motherfucking guy.
So classy.
I hate knowing that certain stuff was shot like that.
Right.
Because, like, it detracts, it raises the veil.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of detracts from the scene a little bit, and it weirds me out. And also, like, knowing how movies are shot sometimes while watching them is weird, because I'm like, that's not, that they must have done that this way.
Right.
Fuck, those fuckers.
You don't like seeing behind the curtain?
Sometimes not.
Okay.
I like to think that they did it all as a group project. When sometimes the actors aren't even in this, they're in the studio at the same time, so.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, all the fucking Endgame stuff and Infinity War. It's like, you know. Yeah, I never even met him. We were in the same movie together, but I don't know. Never saw him because even though we were in a scene together, I did my shoots 2 months ago and he did his yesterday.
Yeah, and I do think I think it adds a little bit more, makes the movie feel a little bit more organic if it's all shot fluidly. But I think that's also why I like in the acting in indie films so much as opposed to like big budget films.
Right. There are way too many of these for me to read them all. Let's see. When in costume, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg often were assumed to be police officers. Many strangers asked them for directions, and instead of telling the truth, they went along with it. They claimed it made them feel powerful. It's Simon Pegg's favorite film of his own up to date. I don't know when this was said. It could have been the next day.
The movie.
Yeah. Oh, this goes into something that I talked about earlier. Names of the townspeople in Sanford are almost all words for occupations or activities. Cooper, Porter, Turner, Shooter, Prosser, Hatcher, Paver, Butcher, Skinner, Fisher, Walker, Thatcher, Weaver, Roper, Tiller, Reaper, Messenger, Staker, Treacher, Cocker, Blower, Draper, Merchant, Cartwright, and Wainwright.
Cocker.
Yeah.
What is that occupation?
Beats Cox. Danny's last name was Butterman.
They talk about the last name Cocker and Blower next to each other.
Yeah.
In the
and
movie.
the kid's name was P. Cocker.
P-
Peter Cocker. His name was Peter Cocker. Yep.
Wait, the kid at the end?
No, that was the
okay.
kid that got that stole the biscuits.
Because the kid at the end, his name was Aaron A.
Aaron A. Aronson.
Aronson, yeah. Aaron A. Aronson.
Yep.
Stupid.
Name Cocker was carried to England in the enormous.
Oh.
What?
You skipped over the dog one.
Cocker Spaniel?
No. Samson the dog, who played Saxon the dog, was not allowed to become a real police dog, as he was considered too friendly.
Oh.
I can't fucking talk.
I just swiped until it stopped and then read another one. Because there's literally, you can scroll for a while in these trivia facts. I don't actually see what that is supposed to be. If you guys know what the etymology of the name Cocker is and what the occupation that it is attached to, email us at draftyq@gmail.com or dqpdoes@gmail.com or tweet us at draftyq. If you have any other questions or comments or whatever, you can also use our social media to get a hold of us.
When Angel gets annoyed at the supermarket, the intercom voice is director Edgar Wright.
Huh. We talked about this a little bit. Nicholas Angel's service number is 777. This is often seen as the mark of God, just as 666 is seen as the mark of the devil. The only character to call him by that number is Timothy Dalton, who played Agent 007 in The Living Daylights in 1987 and Licensed to Kill in 1989.
I like Timothy Dalton.
Yes.
Easily the worst Bond.
No.
No.
The American that played him. He only did one movie.
The American?
Yeah.
One movie?
Fuck. Hold on. Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, Roger Moore. Oh, not letting me swipe. Sweet, thanks. Oh, George Lazenby.
Oh, Lazenby. I forgot about that guy.
Wait, there's another one. What the fuck? David Niven?
Oh, I don't even know who the fuck that is.
What?
Welcome to our new podcast, Breaking the Bond.
I mean, at least he was British.
All right, so I'll retract my previous statement, and I will now say I like Timothy Dalton as an actor.
He's the third.
He's the third worst Bond.
Hold on. Let's get this, figure out which one this guy was in. David Niven, 1967. He had been his Fleming's choice for the role as the actor reflected his image of the character. A non-Eon film, Casino Royale, in 1967. Yeah, and then George Lazenby was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service in 1969. Yep. Anyway. In all of the Cornetto Trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, this film, and The World's End. It's not At World's End, it's The World's End. We've been saying that wrong the whole fucking time.
Yeah, At World's End is the Pirates movie.
Oh, well, whatever. There is always the same gag about them running through and over a fence, which you forgot and started laughing pretty hard when it happened in this movie. I was gonna say episode.
Then I wanted more Shaun of the Dead references and didn't get them.
God damn it!
So
I just wanted more Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, let's get a sequel. So out of all the words written on the swear box, cunt, in parentheses, probably the most offensive word, not in England, is ironically the only word that hasn't been censored in any way.
Yep.
And I also only counted cunt once in this movie, too. So I'm convinced it's like fuck.
Did they not say twat?
They say twat a bunch.
There's some twatters.
Let's get down to these ones that have spoilers.
Is that an app?
Oh, shit. The deranged Santa, Father Christmas, who stabs Nicholas, was played by Peter Jackson.
Okay. I knew that nose. It's said that a swan can break a man's arm with its wing. At the end of the movie, having been made to crash by the swan in the car, you can see Jim Broadbent's arm in a sling as he's loaded under the ambulance.
That's awesome. They shot this movie in 11 weeks.
Huh. I mean, that's like more than twice as long as it took to make Unforgiven. But Unforgiven was made up of like 4 shots.
Yeah.
So
there's like 3.5 scenes.
4 half-hour long establishing shots. Throughout the first half of the film, Danny asks Angel several annoying questions, like, have you ever shot 2 guns at once while driving or diving through the air? To which Angel responds, no. You've been watching too many cop movies. The job isn't like that. Then in the second half of the film, every single thing that Danny asks about, Angel does. He shoots 2 guns while leaping through the air, etc. The only thing that Angel doesn't do is shooting into the air while screaming. Danny does. Also, when the police crew are in the pub on Nicholas's first day, the Andes mention that in small towns, everybody carries a firearm, especially farmers and their mothers. Not only are they correct, at least in Sanford, but the first people who shoot at Angel are a farmer and his mom.
So that reminds me of something I meant to say on the Shaun of the Dead podcast, but didn't.
Yeah.
So in Shaun of the Dead, when Shaun is playing the video game and Nick is standing over his shoulder, giving him directions on where to shoot on the screen. The exact things Nick says there are the same things Nick says later when he's directing Shaun where to shoot when they're in the pub and he's shooting actual zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Or Simon. Simon says it to Nick when Nick has the gun. But yeah, it's reversed, but it's the exact same directions.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, so 2 more, or 1 more, and then a question, because I didn't see it in here anywhere. 2 more, and then a question. First one, the role of Simon Skinner comes with a package of classic James Bond villain-style sidekicks. James Bond-style villain sidekicks, a foxy female assistant, a big strong man who attacks on the criminal boss's command, and a bunch of little peons.
Yep.
Which that was cool. And then another thing about Skinner, he drives up after the traffic collision, and then after the explosion, he's playing songs that are basically spoilers. Like, he's playing a song, Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits, when he pulls up to the traffic collision. And then, I don't remember what the other song is, but it's the chorus is fire to destroy all you've done. When he pulls up to the explosion.
What the fuck?
Fire to destroy all you've done. Yeah. And then I had a question. When they go to the bar and when Angel and Danny drink, every time they go up to get beers, it costs less. Because the first time they give him a 20, the next time they give him a 10, the next time they give him a 5.
Huh.
And I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Change.
Is that what you like?
First
It costs
time we broke
$5.
the 20. They broke the 20 the first time.
Okay.
Then they broke the 10. Then that cost 5.
Okay. I mean, that would make sense, I guess.
Yep.
So just keeping the continuity of how much money is in their fucking pocket.
I guess. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
I was thinking when you were saying that, I was thinking maybe it was like a patronage thing. Like, oh, you've been here. You just keep coming back, so you can pay less.
It's also funny when he first meets Danny, he's like goes up to the bar, orders a drink, and then like while Nicholas is standing there, he like walks away. He says like 2 sentences, and then Danny comes back and like orders another beer in the exact same way. But all right, that'll do it for trivia. There's way more. If you guys want to look it up, just go to IMDb and look this movie up. There's so much trivia and random nonsense in this movie. Like I said, it's packed full of references and little things. This says 168. So there's tons of things to read about this movie if you guys want to go deep dive into it. We're gonna get to ratings now.
It's Fire by Arthur Brown that plays.
Okay, there you go. So Russell, what do you want to rate this?
I'm gonna give this movie a solid 9. Because I do think that it's a really good movie. There's a lot to it. But I have to rate it lower than Shaun of the Dead because I enjoyed Shaun of the Dead more. So, but I mean, altogether, I do think this is a very well put together movie. It's well written. The characters are developed well. The plotting is pretty good. I wish the pacing was a little bit different, and it's not necessarily, I said earlier about there being 20 extra minutes where there needs to not be, but it's really probably more so about the pacing that I had an issue with. Sometimes it's okay to do the lead up, like to an hour and a half of lead up into 30 minutes of action.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what we asked for from Unforgiven, was to chop the lead in by a little bit and extend the payoff.
Yeah.
Because it was like an hour and 55 minutes of lead up to 5 minutes of payoff.
Yeah. Yeah. So the pacing was good. I wish there would have been a little bit more, just something somewhere along the middle. But I mean, it's still a solid 9, and I enjoy it. I definitely recommend, if you're listening and you haven't seen it, to go watch it.
Yeah, it's kind of late for that. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 1/4, 9.25. I think this is everything that Shaun of the Dead could have been. And I would have, if Shaun of the Dead was as packed to the gills with all the references and everything, and not necessarily just back to their fucking one show, because we're American, we've never seen it.
Pander to us.
Yeah. Throw in more He-Man references and more 90s action movie references. Like I said, I'm a 90s action movie slut, so throw all that stuff in there. What?
Dude, that's what happened. Shaun of the Dead came out, and Americans were like, "We fucking love this." And so Edgar Wright was like, "Fuck, I got to learn about American culture."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, here you go, Hot Fuzz." Right. There's guns.
I mean, that might be why I like it so much, because it's basically like
police brutality.
The British.
All the shit you Americans love.
Oh man. Well,
it's fine.
I've just been profiled. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a 9.25. I fucking love this movie. It's probably in my top 15 or 20 movies of all time. Oh, and I totally forgot about Death Becomes Her. That's one of those that is gonna switch in and out of my top 5, by the way.
Depending on if you remember it exists.
Yeah. I told you that I knew there was movies that I was going to forget. But, all right, Nathan. What you got for us? What are you going to rate this one?
I didn't hate the movie. I enjoyed watching it. It was funny. It was too long. So I'm going to have to give it 3 Pauls.
3 Pauls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a 3-Pauler.
It's a 3 Paul movie.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I will give you guys this. It does clock in at 2 hours and 1 minute, where Shaun of the Dead clocked in at 1 hour and 39 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So there is definitely, it is 20 minutes longer.
Yeah. They should have taken that extra 20 minutes and put it on Shaun of the Dead.
just like cut 20 minutes of that movie and went back in time and put it on the other one.
Yeah.
I also think that's part of it for me with Shaun of the Dead versus Hot Fuzz thus far. Is Hot Fuzz is literally just like a buddy comedy, and they discover the town is fucked up.
Yeah,
which is cool, and like it's a good plot. Like I'm not shitting on it, but like Shaun of the Dead has fucking zombies.
Yeah. Well, I kind of touched on a little bit. I think that might be why I like it so much.
Yeah.
And you guys like Shaun of the Dead more because it's a zombie movie and this is a cop movie.
Well, now you were just saying like they did Shaun of the Dead, and then Edgar Wright's like, oh man, I gotta learn about American culture.
That's the thing.
He tried too fucking hard on this one.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh, I mean, I don't.
No, it worked for you because you're that action movie slut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I enjoyed 90s actions movies too. Like I fucking loved them. Like Point Break was great.
Right.
All the Bad Boys movies were great. Die Hard, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Lethal Weapon's probably my favorite. Like I'm just saying, like it was too much.
Okay. All right. I respect that.
I'm like in the middle because I don't think it was too much, but it also I don't super love action movies.
It could have been leaner, is what you wanted. More to the point and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're not like building this like weird esoteric world that I'm gonna be enthralled with, that I want more of. Yeah, it's just like, and hey, that's why this world you actually live in.
That's why he likes The World's End so much, because it's weird.
Oh, I thought he was talking about fucking Blade Runner again.
Well, I mean, that's also why I like Blade Runner so much. Gross. Give me something not set in our universe, and I'm probably going to at least enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's also why I get pissed off at movies that are like, hey, we changed the way everything works, but it's still set in America, and you're still on Earth. And I'm like, why? Like, why didn't you just create a new planet, like, somewhere else in the fucking universe and put it there?
And it also makes all these changes easier to swallow.
Yeah.
Which, like, and you can have chicks with like weird colored skin, like blue and shit, and like crazy hair, and stuff for no reason. You don't have to explain it because it's on another planet. Fucking aliens, who cares?
Yeah, and unless you're writing alternative fictional history, which a great example
that's a different thing, and that's cool.
Which a great example of that being done well is Into the Badlands. Then you can get away with that. But if you're creating a whole fucking world, create a whole fucking world.
Yeah. I agree with that. All right, thanks everybody. This has been DQP Does. We went over Hot Fuzz. Next week we are going to go over The World's End. If you want to be a big cop in a small town, why don't you go fuck off in the model village?
It zoomed out to 4 hours and some odd minutes, apparently.
Whoops.
Choke the chef. Work the bells.
Are we good? You just going to drag it back?
No, I didn't start us at like 4 hours. I started us at like 30 seconds. You want me to just cut?
No, I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Okay.
Cool.
Don't, like, just lean into the beginning.
Welcome back.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, the halls of justice.
So we watched Hot Fuzz tonight.
Did that get edited out?
Nope.
Oh, well.
Left the whole thing. Well, I mean, it's.
I'm
a
already
outtake,
like
I think.
having a great week as it is. So
It's an
fuck
outtake.
it.
Nope.
Edit?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. Well,
I feel like I get saved more by you guys than what I realize. Or you guys are saving all this for when I run for like a political office.
Yep.
It's all right.
This has been a production of the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network.